Hey everybody, what's going on? Your host LovelyCheesePizza here. It feels real good to be back, and welcome back to Let's Play some more Gran Turismo 3. It has been a really tough stretch of the last week. My schedule has just been so wild and all over the place that I've not been able to really fit any gaming stuff into the channel over the last week. I mean, I think last week I did like 4 videos, which is very unlike me. It was like 3 days ago was my last one, then 4 days, and then the other two were like 6 days ago, and it's like, oh god, I feel so terrible having not been able to put up anything on the channel. But there's just so much going on with like Mother's Day, and my fiance came up to visit with the kids, and so I had so much going on that I just could not fit this in really anywhere. And I can tell you right now that I am so excited in this very moment to be able to come home from work after I worked an open to close shift, and just a long ass day. I just got off the phone with my fiance, and she just went to bed, and now I get to sit down right here, and I just get to chill out and play video games for a while, you know? I've been looking forward to this all day today. I really have. I've missed you guys. I really have. It's like, I know that, you know, a lot of you guys are gonna be like, well, I mean, you're not actually talking to us directly right now. Like, you're literally sitting in a room and you're virtually talking to empty space, which you're 100% correct. That's literally exactly what I'm doing. But at the same time though, like, for me, I don't necessarily feel that way when I'm doing these. Like, and I've told you guys this before, like, when I'm recording these, a lot of the time, I know that I am alone when I'm here in this room, but at the same time, I don't feel that way. Like, a lot of the time when I sit down and I record these, even though I'm alone in the room, like 99% of the time, the way that I talk, you know, about things is like, I always feel like I have like a group of 5 or 6 people in here, where, you know, I never really, I feel like I have just like an intimate small party, and that's what you guys are like with, you know, to me. You know, I never feel like I'm necessarily talking to like a bajillion people, because let's be honest, I'm not. But, you know, I don't feel like I really kind of get into that talking to an empty void sort of thing, you know? So, I don't know, maybe that's hard for some people to understand, you know, that you can kind of envision a small group of people being there despite the fact that there's literally nobody in here. Unless maybe it's ghosts, who knows? Maybe there's just like a ghost group of people that are just sitting in my room watching me do this, and that would be terrifying. And I'd have to notify my local ghost hunters, because I'm sure there's plenty of them around here in Salem to exorcise the ghosts from my house. I don't really think that there are any. However, I did do that weird update video a couple years ago, and there was like a weird like energy ball that was floating around in the room, and it was kind of creepy. I don't remember what update video it was, but you guys will have to check that out on your own accord. So it feels so nice to be back, man. I've missed playing this game so much. It's always been such a good, you know, de-stressing tool for me. But and so, you know, nice to be able to come back and do it. We're doing the European Championship. We had a great time going through the Japanese one, minus a couple of small details, where we got ourselves into a pretty shitty situation with that Spoon S2000 race car. Eventually went back and fixed the problem. Now we're jumping into the European Championship with our good old rough 3400S, and it looks like it's doing the job pretty comfortably, and I'm totally okay with that. As much as I do love the competition, and I feel like I kind of go back and forth on this a lot between whether I want the hard competition or I don't. And this is definitely one of those times where I'm totally okay with just having like a nice, relaxing jaunt around the track, you know? It's kind of nice to know that I still remember how to play this. It feels like I haven't done it in like, I don't know, about 300 years or so. But I mean, I guess since I haven't talked to you guys since before Mother's Day, how did that go for all of you guys? You know, did you guys get to do anything special? I hope that all you guys actually got to spend time, you know, with your mothers, or you know, for some it may be grandmothers. Hopefully all of your mothers are still alive. I hope that nobody's, you know, had the horrible situation of their mothers not being around anymore for various reasons. So I hope that everybody had a wonderful and safe Mother's Day. I can happily say that I had a pretty good one. I got to see my fiance, and I got to spend time with my mom as well, and it was great. I actually had to work though, so that part kind of sucked. But afterwards, we got to go out to dinner at a lovely restaurant called the Ram. It's kind of sort of like a sports bar, but it's like a very upscale version of one, I suppose you could call it. And they have, dude, their food is so good. It's great. I haven't been there in a while. The last time that I went to any Ram restaurant was up in Federal Way, Washington, after I went to the Northwest Expo Northwest Natural Products Expo. I think I told you guys about that, and I got to have like this crazy awesome burger that had like this. I think it was like a blueberry like cream cheese type of thing going on with it, and it was super awesome. But this time, I just decided, you know what? I was like, you know what? I want fish and chips. I haven't had fish and chips in God knows how long. And so I got it, and it was just like, you know, their portions are fucking huge. Like, it caught me by surprise. Like, you know, I feel like when you normally get fish and chips, what happens is they give you like a couple of pieces of, like, you know, beer battered cod or whatever type of fish they normally use for that. For the ones that these guys give out, it was haddock, actually, which I've never had fish and chips that was haddock before. It's usually always like cod or something similar. And normally they always give you like these smaller, you know, these smaller pieces that are, I don't know, I'm not going to give out dimensions for it because I'll probably be way off if I do it. But, is this Route 5? Ah, so happy that it's Route 5 and not Route 11. I could go a while without seeing Route 11 again, and I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. We went out there, though, and so I got fish and chips, and they brought up my plate, and it was just one big piece of fish, but it was literally like the entire fish minus the head. And who knows, they may even have thrown the head in there. I didn't eat the whole thing, and so for all I know, I'll end up eating that thing later tonight, and I'll find out that the head's still in there. That thing literally took up the entire frickin' plate. I couldn't believe it. I saw them bring that thing out, and I was like, what the hell is this? I actually said that. I was like, oh my god, what the hell is this thing? This thing is monstrous. I've never had fish and chips like this. And then like this, like the dill and tartar sauce that they gave me was, oh my god, it was just like an orgasm in a little condiment, you know, cup thing. It was so good. And they actually gave me this coleslaw that I actually enjoyed eating, and that is unheard of. I mean, that is something that throughout the multiverse, maybe only 1 out of 5 billion versions of me would actually have enjoyed it. And I think I got lucky that it was me. Because normally with regular coleslaw, like, I just don't like it because it just, I don't know, it always seems to like lack dimension of flavor, you know? It always just has, so many coleslaws just have like this super bland texture and like no discernible flavor that I enjoy at all. It's so blah is kind of what I get out of it. But this one, they put horseradish into it, and that made all the frickin' difference. Good frickin' God. It was amazing. I was like, I actually enjoy this. And I really wish that I would have stolen the damn thing that had that in it, because I totally left both that and the tartar sauce thing there. But well worth it, man. Well worth it. It was astonishing. It was astonishing how many people for it. So the place was totally packed. Like, it was in a line going all the way out the door. And the funny thing about it is you could see just how many guys totally like did last minute Mother's Day shopping, because I would say at least about 1/3 of the tables in this restaurant, which is a lot. A third of the tables in this restaurant all had, you know, giant bouquets of flowers at them, which means that the guys, before going out to dinner, decided to bring flowers with them, which means it was totally a last minute thing. It's like, you saucy bastards, you. You didn't think ahead, my friend. You totally did last-minute stuff instead of, you know, actually doing something a little more creative than that. Which, you know, I mean, there's certainly nothing wrong with getting your mother flowers. I mean, that's always, you know, the gesture is important. For me, I didn't do flowers because my struggle with flowers is that it's something that doesn't last. Like, it's always really nice in the moment, but within a week, you know, like a week or so, they're dead. And, you know, and then, you know, the moment is forgotten. That's why, you know, and like, you know, and like getting, you know, getting like Mother's Day cards, like, a lot of the time, you know, they're great. You know, sometimes you'll get people like my mom who she saves every card and she puts them in a box and she goes back and reads them. But a lot of the time, you know, people don't save them. You know, they're like, oh, well, that was really nice, and then next thing you know, it's gone. So for me, and I wish I would have had more time to have done this, but I wanted to do homemade cards for my grandma, my mom, and my fiance, which I only ended up having enough time to do homemade one, like just a handmade one for my fiance, and so that was pretty awesome. I got her to cry, and that's how you know that you've done it good. But the one I got from my mom, I got her to cry too, so I think my wordsmithing was of high enough quality that I did the job. But I also, with my waning funds that I had left, I was able to get my fiance a nice little pair of earrings and a little cross necklace. She's been wanting one of those for a long time, and so it really made me happy that I was able to get her that. That was a nice thing, man. We didn't get to spend Mother's Day together last year. She you know, she doesn't live up here with me yet, and so she had to work on Mother's Day last year, and so I didn't get to see her on the day, and so I didn't get to spend it with her, and so I also didn't have enough money to get her a gift either. And so when I was able to do that for her, it really made me happy because, oh, dude, she lit up. It was great. That's like the moments that I live for, and one thing that I'm really excited about for like getting married is when holidays or like this come around and you get to get them gifts. Getting to like see their face light up when you give them things like that, like that's like, you know, everybody has like different love languages and stuff, and like for some it's giving gifts, it's showering, you know, with you know, it's spoiling them like that, and there's certainly nothing wrong with that, and everybody else has kind of a different way of doing that. Some people just, you know, there's you know, the physical parts of affection, and sometimes there's giving gifts, and sometimes there's just, you know, that you can have, you know, passion and intimacy without having to necessarily have either one of those two components. There's a lot of different ways to express your love for one another, but for me it's always been like I love giving gifts. I love giving, you know, little keepsake things that, you know, that have lasting power, you know, something that they're going to get use out of. And that's one thing that I love about jewelry, is that it's something that they can wear. It's something that they can have on them, and that they can have, you know, a visual reminder of when they got it. So that's my thing. I feel like I'm kind of gushing over this sort of thing. I'm sure, you know, some people don't want to hear it, but I don't know. I just I'm in a time of my life where I'm truly happy, and there was a part of time for me that I just really wasn't for a long time. I think that I had fooled myself into thinking that I was, but I really truly wasn't until I actually really, you know, learned for really the very first time what actually being happy was like. And I can tell you, it's worth it, man. If you do not ever let someone tell you that you don't deserve to be happy, man. I'm telling you. Everybody deserves that. Everybody deserves to feel the same way that I do. Because, you know, I mean I had that feeling. I've been there with the people that, you know, that feel like, you know, there's nobody out there for them. And I can tell you, there's 7 billion people on this planet, man. There's definitely somebody out there for everyone. There really is. You gotta go out there and find it. And I mean, sometimes it finds you too. It really does. It really freaking does. And so just don't let life get you down. You know, there will be times where you feel like you know, you got nothing left in the tank, but there's always something left. There will always be somebody there to help dig you out of whatever you're going through. So, words of wisdom from me. Take it from me, man. I truly, at one point in my life, thought that, you know, as far down in the hole as I was, that was as good as it was going to get for me. And I'm really, really happy that I was wrong, and that I had her there to be able to, you know, help me fight through all that stuff. Because I truly don't know who I would be had she not done that. I really don't. And I'm really glad that I will never have to figure out what that version of me would have been, because I don't think that it would be somebody that I would be proud of. I can be honest with you there. All right. Well, oh god. On a side note, we're doing great right now. Thought things were going to be a little bit closer here in this race, but we're moving along pretty well, my friends. It is looking good. All right. Let's freaking go. Let's freaking go. Here we go. I'm actually kind of surprised. Like, I feel like the last time I was driving with this car, we had a much harder time controlling it. I feel like I've really started to kind of, you know, come into my own here in terms of, I don't want to say mastering things. I feel like the term mastery gets used improperly a lot in these types of things. We're like, oh, I've mastered the craft of. It's like, I don't think a lot of people have really mastered the craft of a lot of things. That means that you are literally the absolute best at it. You know, there's nothing more that you can improve on. You have achieved the top of your respective field of whatever it is. And, you know, now you are the authoritative figure. I am definitely not the authoritative figure of driving this car in this game. But I feel like, you know, over the last few episodes, minus a couple of small hiccups, I feel like we're really starting to get that sense of comfort that, you know, that I've really been looking for. That I've, you know, still in some parts have had a hard time with. Like, I'm starting to get down, like, the right times to start braking into corners. I'm starting to figure out, you know, when to start accelerating out of corners. My positioning going into these places is getting a little better. So I feel like I'm really starting to hit my stride, at least in regular races. You know, as far as rally races are concerned, it's going to be a totally different story when that comes back around. That is a monster that I am not quite ready to tackle with my broadsword, shield, and chainmail and helmet. I can tell you, that's going to be something that's going to really bring the stress right back out of me again. So that's okay though. When, you know, we will eventually take that monster down when we can. Because, like, what I really want to do is I really don't want to take, you know, the easy way out and just, you know, get, like, some insanely overpowered rally vehicle that will just wipe the floor with everything without me having to try. Like, I don't, like, if I have to take that route, I will at some point, but I really want to try to, you know, make an actual, real, genuine effort to win with a car that's at least, you know, even if it is better than my competition, like, I want to be able to use a vehicle that at least is realistically going to be challenged a little bit. Like, that's, I don't want to just be like, oh, I'm going to take this thing with like 1100 horsepower and I'm going to beat you by like 45 seconds each race. Like, that, I don't know, like, that, there's winning comfortably and there's winning disgustingly. Which, you know, I know people are going to be like, well, Adam, but you totally won your first endurance race by like 3.5 minutes. Like, well, that's also something that I did like 50 bajillion laps of too, though. That's a little bit different, you know. With that, I mean, I want to have like the right blend, I guess is what I'm trying to say, you know. All right, well, we got 30 points. That's a nice way to get things started. I feel like, you know, we've entered back into the realm nice and easy. All right. Well, you know what? I think we're gonna save right here, guys. It It feels good. We're back in the saddle. We're on the road again. The road again. And then you kick a horse right in his chode again. You catch the pop fly and you're home again. I don't know. I don't know. You kick a horse in the chode, you catch a pop fly, and then you're home. That's what it is. So that's the thing that we have now all heard and are all confused by. So, my friends, when we come back on the next installment of Let's Play Gran Turismo 3, we've got a couple more races in the European Championship to blow through. And then we'll have another prize car in our inventory, and then we'll move on to something else, because I think we'll have a little bit of time to figure that out. So until then, my friends, this is your host, Lovely Cheese Pizza, saying thank you guys for watching. Thanks for bearing with me, not always, being on the tightest schedule for uploading. I know it's probably a little frustrating for you guys at times, but I'm trying my best. I can promise you that. So hopefully it'll be a little bit better this week, though. So you guys take it easy, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys. Take it easy.